Hi, good morning. My name is David, and today I am running a session of Fellowship. Fellowship is a Powered by the Apocalypse game by Jacob Randolph. It's it's a sort of fantasy game about a band of adventurers taking on um, the an evil overlord, or in our case, we're using the In Rebellion playbook or supplement, I should say, which sort of switches it around so it's more the kind of plucky band of rebels fighting against an evil empire in the style of Star Wars or Avatar and so on and so forth. Today we're playing in a game that's very specifically featuring sort of young characters in the vein of something like She-Ra or Avatar, as previously mentioned. We will. I'll get everyone to introduce themselves, and we'll get started. This game was arranged as part of the Gauntlet online role-playing community. You can find out more about the Gauntlet at gauntlet-rpg.com. I'll put links to everything down below at the bottom of this video if you are watching. But without further ado, I'll ask my players to introduce themselves. We'll go through in character keeper order. If you'd like to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your character, then once we've done that, we'll have a little bit of a recap on our last session and where we're going with this one. Cool. So yeah, as I said, my name is David. I use he/him pronouns, and I think it will be Jamie first today.
Yeah, so hi, Jammy, they, them pronouns. And I'm playing Sabila, who also goes by they, them pronouns. I'm playing the dragon, which is pretty cool. It's a very, I don't want to say combat oriented. I don't think it's just about combat, but it's a very straightforward playbook, but there's a lot of room for nuance, which I really like. So Sabila is one of the last dragons. There's a lot of mystery about what's going on with the dragons and if there's a chance for them to come back. So I'm really looking forward to today's session as we go through that.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Alex, if you'd like to go next.
I'm Alex, he, him, or they, them pronouns. I'm playing Phaethon, who uses he, him pronouns. He's the Harbinger playbook. He is a snarky teen wizard. It's a neat playbook that I basically themed around being distanced from others because of having special knowledge or special powers. So there's plenty of angst built into it, and he has purple hair.
Brilliant, thank you very much. And last for the moment, David, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hi folks, I'm David. I'm he, him. I'm playing Kalliban, the Moon Prince, who is a they, them. Kalliban started out as the Nemesis playbook in Service of the Empire. He's currently redeemed. In fact, he learned a valuable lesson last time and has unlocked his wisdom stat, so he doesn't have to just bark orders at people. We've also established that Kalliban is also the shipper's favourite, and everyone wants to kiss Kalliban.
Get those important facts out there. We may also be joined by Stephen, our fourth player, if he shows up late. This for those, especially particularly for Alex and Stephen. This is, I believe, the early hours of the morning where they are, so I can forgive him if he has slept in. Yes, so we will. So last time. The band of rebels traveled through some underground tunnels full of weird arcane moonstones that are used to sort of channel the magical power used by the Empire, but are extremely unstable in their raw form. They were introduced to the residents of the mining town of Ingot, who, due to the odd energies of the moonstones beneath their town, have a tendency to grow additional limbs. So they have they met some of the locals, primarily for most importantly from the purposes of the story, the mayor of the town, Mayor Stonecliffe, who seemed a sort of fairly no-nonsense type, who wasn't particularly interested one way or the other in getting involved in the conflict between the rebels and the Empire, as long as they could sort of keep doing what they did. However, due to their purpose here in the town was to find the location of the lair of the dragon Grayscale, and where an Imperial expedition had been sent, or I should say an expedition of the Ordo Noctis, which is not quite the same thing, but to find that. In the process of this, they managed to discover the location of the expedition, but in the while doing so, they made the governor of the town, the Imperial governor, suspicious, and he had the mayor arrested and locked up in the town garrison. Our session last time ended with Ossian and Ossian, Phaethon, and Kalliban breaking the governor out of the garrison. In the meantime, defeating the governor. So this means a couple of things. Firstly, as you have successfully defeated the Imperial threat in this area, and you've kind of started to get the miners a bit more on side. Particularly the younger members of the town, who are more inclined to defy the will of the Empire. You will gain a new fellowship move. I have put the 4 suggestions for those in the Rebellion tab, just to the right of the main bulk of the text in that. So if you want to have a quick look over those, and then we'll have a discussion about which one you think you'd like to take for your rebellion. We'll do that. Then I will, and also we will do the end of session questions from last time, just to go through those. So, wait, sorry. End of session questions. Did we strike a blow against the Empire or its leaders?
Quite literally, I would say.
Yep, absolutely. I'd agree with that. You took the fight directly to the Empire, and made a bit of a showing against them. Did you protect the common folk from harm?
Well, yeah, after Kalliban, I put them into harm.
I mean,
is the mayor common folk?
Yeah, no, I mean, yes. In this sense, yeah, absolutely. The mayor is a civilian, as it were. So yeah, that is cool. We'll go with a yes on that. And finally, did we learn something about something new about the Empire and its plans?
Yeah, we found out about the gemstones, how important they are, right?
Yep, that's right. Yeah, I think
and
that's
we
good.
found out that they were trying to, they've sent what's-his-face off to try and control the dragons.
Yep. So yeah, excellent. So we so that's 3 yeses. For each answer to that, you can, as ever, you've got the choice of the 3 below. You can have everyone refresh 1 piece of their gear to its full value. You can have everyone heal 1 stat, which doesn't have to be your own stat; it can be someone else's. Or you can, or both you and I can choose 1 player to level up. So I will let you make those decisions.
Did we say that a number of people had
So
wounds? Yeah.
yeah, we have quite a few people with wounds.
Haven't used much in the way of gear though.
Yeah, in terms of levels, I believe, and this was something I meant to check last time, but I believe at this point, I think that Ossian and Sabila should both be level 4, and Kalliban and Phaethon should both be level 5. Does that sound right?
Possibly.
Sounds correct
I think
to me.
so.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, cool. But yes, so yeah, you can feel free to level up. And so as well, if you so choose. But yeah, I'll let you make those choices.
So, I think your stats should say damage for the inevitable betrayal, but probably actually we should heal you.
I'm okay. I'm frankly okay with just like healing once and staying like a little bit damaged. I like my characters being hurt, so like I'm fine with whatever.
Going for the John McClane look. Got it.
Yeah, basically. It's more fun that way.
I agree.
But
So do we want to bring? We've got 2 at 5 and 2 at 4. We said, right? Is that?
Yep, that's right. I think that's the numbers are correct on that.
So if we raise the level, then that would raise both Ossian and Sabila up to, because actually no. Dave would have to choose one, but I think we should raise a level at least once
for sure.
Do a little bit of healing.
We could do healing. We have, how many do we have?
3 in total. Yep.
Okay. So yeah, we could heal twice, which would be enough to bring Ossian and me back to full health if we want to do that. We could not heal at all and level everybody else up again. Is that an option even?
So you can everyone can only level once per downtime thing. So you could bring Ossian and Sabila up to 5, okay, and then you and Kalliban up to 6, but you couldn't leap 2 levels in one go, essentially.
Okay, I mean, yeah. Do we want to spend the 3rd one on leveling up or healing again?
I think if we bring everyone to 5 and spend the other 2 on healing, right? That means we're all at level 5, and we sort of start take that.
That works for me.
Inconvenience.
Yeah.
For a minute.
Sure thing. That's cool.
All right. So. Yeah. Wait. Sorry. So I'm looking at the. Each fellowship player chooses 1 stat to heal. Okay. Yeah. So. If we're doing that twice, then everything is healed.
Cool. I will adjust Ossian's. Oh no, someone already has. Cool. Oh no, wait, it's in someone. I forgot that I put that in 2 places just to confuse people. I had the idea of trying to link it up, but then decided it would be too much hassle. One-way linking is fine in Sheets. Trying to get it so that it updates when it's updated in either of 2 places is I think technically possible, but a nightmare. So yeah. Anyway, Excel woes aside, or Google Sheets, I should say. But cool. And yeah, in terms of the rebellion move, did anyone have any preferences on that one?
the I like both young at heart and endurance training. I mostly like endurance training because I think it'd be very funny to have 7 stats.
Yeah.
But like those are the two that draw my attention, but I'm fine with any of these.
Where are we looking for that? Sorry, I'm obviously.
Oh, it's in the Rebellion tab. It's like to the right of the main bulk
Yeah,
of
I
the
got
text.
it.
Yeah.
But where on the sheet am I looking? What am I looking for?
Moves on offer. So like if you move over to the right completely, it'll show up.
Oh, right,
Right?
got
Is
you.
that right?
Aha, I can see it.
I also like young at heart and endurance training. I'm kind of tempted by Our Forge as Your Forge because like having gear that's adamant would be kind of cool. But yeah, I'm cool with whatever, honestly.
I would just say we haven't like used gear that much.
Yeah.
Thing.
I know, it's true. Yeah, that's a good point. And having more options to finish them is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I've already got the iron stat. Does mine go up if I've got, or is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's fair. That seems like a reasonable.
Should we do that then?
Yeah,
Works
that's
for me.
cool with me.
Yeah,
Get
sure
all the
thing.
stats.
Yeah, you. I can't remember if I accommodated for that on your sheet.
Yeah,
or not.
I have extra space.
Oh yeah, no, I did. Good. I thought, I was obviously having a foresighted day when I put that together.
Yeah, good job, past David.
Yeah, what was that about? Not being able to have faith and thinking he's cooler than Kalliban with all the stat blocks.
Yeah, but now my iron's 3, right? So swings and roundabouts, man.
Awesome.
You think you've got a brooding look? Not now that Caliban's got iron of 3. His brooding is epic. He can shatter mountains with his brooding stare.
Cool. Awesome. So yeah, with that, I think that's all of our housekeeping out of the way. So we will we'll get into things, and I think the first thing I would like to do is I was going to. I think. Well, I will put the choice to. I will put the choice to you, Sabila. I would like to hear a little bit about Sabila's adventures in the spirit world. I'm happy whether you want to do that by just telling us a little bit about it. Or if you actually want to do it in character when you meet up with the group again, whichever way you'd rather, I'm cool with. I will have a couple of questions for you specifically on it, but I will ask you those afterwards more. But that will be more about what you actually learned while you were there. But yeah.
Yeah. I think what would be cool is yeah, maybe I'm trying to do I want to go mysterious or do I want to go but the one thing I'm sure about is that when Sabila shows up again, they look older again, just to show that they've become a little wiser, hopefully. I don't know, that or more traumatized, we'll see, whatever. But also I'm kind of seeing it like an Avatar The Last Airbender moment where like all the previous dragons showed up to talk to Sabila. I think that would be kind of cool. And I think maybe as a result of that, Sabila is a just feels different, like a different person, for sure. But I don't know if that's going to last. Like it could just be for now, and then Sabila will revert.
Cool. But yeah, so yeah, in fact, actually, I will ask you the questions now, so that you can work them into your thing rather than just ask them out flat. So, what I would like to know is what did the dragons tell you about Grayscale's plans? Grayscale being the dragon, obviously you're searching for in the mountains. What weakness? Well, either what weakness or what did they give you that could be useful for if in dealing with them? And finally, and this is obviously the one that is more of a meta question, but what important information is your mother still hiding from you?
Oh, so good. So just to refresh my memory, I remember Grayscale wanted to have this like horrible plan.
Yeah, so he's basically the dragon of like war and power, and the certainly what Lambent Swan.
Labent Stork.
Labent Stork, that's it. Yes, Gilded Swan, sorry, is the master, yeah. What Labent Swan believes, anyway, is that Grayscale is willing to help, but will kind of take be kind of taking power over people as sort of a bit part of the deal. Whether that's exactly Grayscale's plan or not, we do not know, but that's certainly what Labent Stork believes.
Ooh, I think so. The first question was, what did I learn of their plan? Right?
Yeah,
Of
that's
his
right.
Plan. Yeah. And the next one's weakness, and then what is my mom still hiding from me? So what I learned of the plan is that Grayscale had worked with the Empire. Like he knew that the Empire was getting stronger, and in his mind it was like, well, we can try to survive the long term, or we can die out trying to fight back against the Empire. So he had sold out the different dragons in an effort to try to control who would get to survive in the end. Very much an ends justify the means kind of person, and or dragon, both. Maybe a person and a dragon. And for the plan to really work, I think Sabila's not exactly sure. I think the dragons were somewhat cryptic in explaining it, but it would mean in giving away more of the dragon's power to people in the Empire. Like the dragons are trying to figure out a way to at least temporarily give those powers to certain key people. And a weakness that I know of, though, is that Grayscale, I think it's a weakness. I kind of like the idea that Grayscale has a child also, and maybe Sabila's convinced if they can get to the child, this could be a way of making sure that in negotiating with Grayscale or convincing him could work.
Yep.
And I think what my mother is keeping from me, like how much do I want Sabila to suffer? I'm like going through different like ideas. I think what my mother is hiding from me is that she knows that the dragons are afraid of me, that there are prophecies about me of how I will ultimately either destroy the dragons or bring about their rebirth. And so I'm considered like too dangerous an element, but not all the dragons know about it. But Grayscale possibly knows.
Awesome. That's perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, just the right amount of suffering, I think.
Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds good. Cool. Yes. So I think what I'll do is like I'll give you a little bit of time if you want to, like I said, just have a quick reunion scene, and then we'll do another quick travel montage to Grayscale's lair, and yeah, that will probably take us up to our first break, I think. So yeah, cool. If you want to. Yeah, I think maybe. Do you want to? Do you want to sort of frame the scene like still in the town of Ingot, or do you want to be back on the road already?
Ooh. Yeah, I guess the question is, would Phaethon be comfortable leaving without Sabila?
I mean, if we had like planned to meet them. On the other hand, I also like the idea of Sabila coming back to sort of the destruction that was wrought and being like, what the heck? What the heck? What the darn?
That's also a good point. Yeah. So I think maybe you can describe what it looks like so that I'll know what Sabila reaction going.
God, I'm trying to remember. I mean,
I know rocks are involved.
There was a tower that basically just got collapsed. I think David might have a better conception, sort of the overall layout.
Yeah. So the in terms of like the town itself is mostly fine. It's sort of like said, it's in a big valley in the mountains, lots of big imposing stone buildings. Lots of people here have multiple limbs. The garrison is just a big squat stone building just a little bit outside of town that has been had a large hole punched into it by lightning. And I think as Sabila is coming into town, you'll kind of they'll have to hide a little bit from a small column of Imperial troops who are very much abandoning their post and heading back towards the Imperial heartlands. And I think we will just for to keep the to keep the sense happy, we'll see the governor kind of being carried on a stretcher, sort of bandages all over them. Though they are perhaps notably they are also handcuffed and under the protection of essentially a kind of internal magistrate type. But yeah. The people. So when the rest of the fellowship first came into town, so the change won't necessarily be noticed by Sabila, but when Sabila comes into town, the people in the streets seem quite like lively and there's a bit of an air of celebration and the like. People are out kind of sat on their front steps with with drinks, chatting to their neighbours, and they'll call out a friendly greeting as you arrive, that sort of thing.
Right, so there's like all this chaos, but there's also all this celebration going on at the same time.
Yeah.
And I think Sabila, you'll notice that they're wearing like a really large cloak. They seem taller than before, but we don't get a really good look at their face until they get closer to where Phaethon and Kalliban are. Are the two of you together, or are you still on the outs? Or
No, Caliban slipped away, and if I remember correctly, last time because they realised that they'd been taken by a fool by the what's his name, the governor. So
yeah, and I think last time Calvin, you mentioned there was like a pond in town with like moon lilies.
Yeah.
And I think I think that's where Phaethon would just be sitting.
Of course, I had a cunning disguise to once again be. Yeah.
You were the moon lily all along.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, nursing his wounds, although they are mechanically healed now. He's like a bit singed.
Yeah, I think Sabila will come across Phaethon by the pond, and their voice will sound a little more mature as they say, "I leave you alone for just a short time, and look at you. You're a complete mess.
Look at you. You're taller? Are they taller than Phaethon now?
Ooh, I like that idea, actually.
'Cause
like, that would be kind of cute.
You're tall now.
And I think Sabila, who would normally have jumped at the opportunity, just blushes quietly and just tries to cover themselves up. Their horns are also bigger, but there's noticeably like less jewelry on them, and Sabila will say, yes, taller, but you look hurt. Are you? I'm sorry I wasn't here to protect you.
I protected myself, don't worry.
If this was
you should see
yourself,
you should see the other guy.
Does this have to do with the tower?
It might have a little to do with the tower.
Where's everybody else? I couldn't find.
Kalliban did something dumb and went off to like be sad about it, I guess. Ossian is resting up at the inn.
Okay, shouldn't we check on Kalliban? Is it okay to leave them alone?
I don't know where he is.
Okay, I'll look for them. I'll look for them, I say. And I'm going to, I don't know what this would look like, but I'm going to try to see what I can do to track down Kalliban.
And Phaethon let me come with you. I've been in town a few days.
Okay, so that means the two of you have been getting along better, right? Right.
Anyway,
all right.
He was going on about plants all the time.
Plants?
That was his thing. This time he was a botanist. That was his cover.
Oh, okay, like the baker, right? That seems like such a long time ago. Yeah. Okay. Let's track them down.
Yeah. You alright, though?
How long has it been since I left?
How long has it been out of character? Couple days?
A couple of
Week?
days, yeah, maybe a week, maybe not quite that long, but yeah, enough time that, like I said, the town has started to sort of adapt to the changes, but yeah, not a huge length of time.
Sabila, it's been 40 years.
Right, and you look very good for 40 years.
Oh, thank you.
Well, to me, it felt like Moontime is strange. I think it was about 10 years.
Wait.
It's hard to explain.
No, I mean, it's not that complicated. Like, time flows differently in Moon Spirit realm or whatever. But wow, that's a lot.
Right, and I had a lot of time to think about things like you and Kalliban and Ostian, of course. Yeah. Anyway, this is difficult to talk about.
Let's go find Kalliban.
Right.
Yeah,
he's also 40 years older.
Yeah, of course, yes. Out of character, where is Kalliban?
Kalliban has always been a 40-year-old, right? But at least in spirit. Kalliban, I think, has gone... he's going to prove it. He wants to prove himself and has stormed away, I think, in the direction of the mountains. And what's his name? I remember his name down. The dragon guy? What's his...
Labent Stork.
Labent Stork, yeah. So... I think if they go to the Lily Pond or somewhere like that, they will find the disguise cast to the ground. But Kalliban is hot on the trail. Maybe he's left a note that says, "I will regain your trust. Labent Stork will fall before my blade."
Is what? I like pick up the note and show it to you. What does this mean?
It means...
What did you do, Phaethon?
I didn't do anything. I am blameless.
Phaethon, we have to remember Kalliban has been through a lot. And okay, let's find him, and please, let's just try to be kinder to him, okay?
Okay.
I'm sure you can understand how difficult this is for him.
Nobody coddled me when I was a fresh out renegade from the Order.
And it shows, doesn't it?
What is that supposed to mean?
It means I want something different for Kalliban, and I think you do too.
Let's go. Labent Stork is that way.
Like there's this awkward moment where we're just standing there. Who again? What is another bird name? What?
Out of character, were you here for the... you were here for the session that Kalliban went on a date with...
Yes.
Okay, yes. You remember Nepta, or Order Apprentice. Kalliban went on a really awkward date with her, and he's her dad, and wants to
Kill him?
talk to the dragons.
Okay.
And I guess Kalliban wants to kill him now.
Okay, we should. Yeah, maybe killing your date's dad is not the best idea. Yeah. Okay. We need. Okay. let's just get there quickly. And I think at that point, because we did get a level up, right? Am I remembering that correctly?
Yeah. You and Ossian did. Yeah.
Okay. I think when that happens, Sabila will take off the robe, and then you'll see that these dragon wings have sprouted on their back. Let's get there quickly. I'll carry you. No complaints. I'll have to touch you.
Whoa.
Don't look at them that way. Just eyes on the ground, okay?
Okay. Phaethon is just mostly speechless. Like, he's not gonna be a big pain in the neck at the moment. Jeez.
But yeah, Sabila is very embarrassed about the wings. Also, I have the clumsy tag, so it's not like I'm really that great with them yet. But there you go.
Awesome, and I think we'll segue straight into the travel montage now, as Caliban has already begun. So, and I will actually ask Caliban if you would like to set the first challenge for either Ossian or Sabila. Sorry. One day I will not forget names, but that day is not today.
Phaethon, but not Ossian.
The challenge is I have to sort of frame a question for them to resolve. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be. It can be a challenge, an opportunity, or something else.
I think. Excuse me. Let's frame to Sabila. When can you have to either go through or around some of these Imperial troops on the road. One will be faster, the other will gain more attention. Which do you do?
Ooh. I think, surprisingly, because the old Sabila would have just like barreled through and picked a fight. So Sabila I decide to take my time just to make sure we don't draw any more unwanted attention. But I think Sabila will also like stop to like talk to Phaethon about it to get his opinion on the matter, which is also new. Like actually getting an opinion. Would Phaethon want to go through or around?
Phaethon is mostly just like, so are you like 20 now?
Yes, it's been 10 years. Yes, I don't know how this time stuff works. I came out and my body changed. I don't like it. I really don't like it. But here we are. I know it's ugly. Can we not talk about it?
Okay.
And Sam was like really embarrassed, like just trying to like, get through dragon puberty.
Yeah, and Phaethon is just trying to tread lightly, like. So it's like, oh, whatever Sabila decides. It's fine.
I think actually Sabila will say, do you think Caliban's gonna find it ugly how I look different?
No. I mean, he shouldn't.
Okay.
Kind of an idiot, though, so, like, maybe... But no, he won't. We'll no way.
Okay. I mean, not that I should care what Kalliban thinks. I mean, it's just we're just friends. But anyway, yeah. Let's just go around. Let's not draw attention to ourselves. Yeah. That's what we were talking about.
Yeah. Yes. We're making good time as is. I'm sure we will prevent Kalliban from doing anything too crazy.
Ooh, yeah, and I think the next part of the journey. Yeah, I think the challenge I want to offer is, that that getting to Caliban is one thing, but convincing them that they don't have to take extreme measures is going to be something else. Is Phaethon going to try to do something about that? Like what's Phaethon's plan for when we get there, basically?
Phaethon... Plan is a strong word. Phaethon, like... I mean... It's complicated by the fact that, like, Sabila is, like, back and different and, like, kind of scary now. Because he knows Sabila would not be a big fan of, like, his default plan, which would be to yell at Kalliban until they, like, stop doing bad things. And if that doesn't work, then, like, hit them with a bolt of lightning or whatever. So I think, like, I think, part of, like, he's very quiet, like, just trying to figure out, like, think through in his head how to, like, talk to Kalliban like a human, and whether that's worthwhile. And but, like, it maybe kind of occasionally asking, like, a leading question to, like, figure out where Sabila stands.
Oh no. So good.
Like, so if if we see Kalliban sword raised over Labent Stork's head. I mean, a little bit of lightning just to disarm them what? Is fine, right?
No lightning for disarming. No, can you even aim lightning like that?
I have aimed lightning very effectively at least once before.
I saw the tower.
Yes.
That didn't look very precise.
You weren't there.
Kalliban is not a tower. Kalliban is a person. No lightning, okay? No lightning.
Okay, but, like... Okay.
I'm sure you'll come up with a good plan. I'm sure you'll know exactly what to say to get through to them. I believe in you, Phaethon. Okay?
You're the one who wants to... You're always the one who wants to talk things out.
Phaethon! Gosh, it has just only been a few days. Okay.
Oh no, look at that. Which is Caliban. What like vaguely disturbing or upsetting sign have you left? Like sign of your presence that we are on your trail. Like have you left recently that we find?
I think there were further ahead. There are more. There are more Imperial troops. It looks like they were taking a shipment. Let's say actually they look like they were tax collectors, and that's what they did look like. They don't so much look like that anymore. Kalliban has obviously been through here and has been furious at what he has found.
This is not
Just
good.
a little lightning.
Okay. And Sabila will like bend down and to take a closer look at what's happened. I'm sure they did what they thought was best. Let's just, I think we can't waste any more time.
Yeah. Think we're close. Seems like as good a time as any to transition into actually finding Caliban.
Cool.
I don't know if we wanted to break first.
Ooh.
We'll take our first break in a sec. So my last scene for this travel montage will be higher up in one of the peaks of the mountain. The snow, there's a light snow cover up here, not heavy, but there is a small encampment of Imperial troops here. And we see another figure dressed in the garb of the Ordo Noctis, which we can deduce is Labent Stork. He is stood amongst the small cadre of these troops look fairly kind of elite mountaineer types. There's one figure amongst them that we recognize, the dragon hunter from the very first session is there, with some further dragon hunting gadgetry. Labent Stork turns his mouth towards him and says, "The patrol should have been here some time ago. I suspect that the rebels may have caught up with us. As much as I hate to see such a fascinating specimen be lost, the young dragonling is an aberration and threatens our calculations. I trust you to take care of her." And the hunter just kind of nods and slips. Kind of has one of those big white cloaks on, and just pulls the hood up and down over his face, and slips into the snow. Cool. And yeah, with that, we will take our first break.
Awesome.
Cool. So we will cut into I should say, I think, yeah, I would. I think I would like to see you catching up with Caliban, and then we will see your approach to the caves and such. But yeah, I think that's probably where we'll kick things back off again.
Cool. So I've just spent my final unspent advance on one of the other options to get from what is the Nemesis. I've chosen Honor-Bound Fool. You can't go home until you've redeemed yourself. And you have a code of, well, it says in here that you have to stop in the fellowship as your path to redemption, but I think that's from the Nemesis and not the redeem view. You have a code of honor that gives you the power so long as you keep it. When someone makes a hostile or deceitful action against you, you may immediately respond with a cut. And if they break my code, I can't make cuts against someone else. But I think Caliban's doubled down on the fact that he still believes in the vampire. So they still believe in the Empire, but he believes the Empire has been corrupted.
Sure thing.
More angst and trauma, right?
Yeah, perfect. Oh, I should say actually in the character keeper, if where it says your playbook there, if you switch that to the redeemed, it should update the text for the moves that change.
Uh-huh.
So
woohoo. Yeah, your code survives long after your cruel master's control it over you. Cool. Got it. That's really helpful. Thank you.
No worries. Awesome. Yeah, so I guess what is the scene that the others find Caliban in? Up in the high peaks of the mountains.
Caliban has dropped all sense of disguise. They have the cracked white mask. They are black and shadow. Probably less human looking than usual. Like the shadow is drifting and wisps away with them. Like they are smoke and night in rather than human form. I think he's been. He'd probably be marching and fighting. He's probably, I think, stopped to break, and they can probably see like the smoke of a fire and the camp in sort of a bluff in the hill, holding themselves away from the snow and the winds. He probably, if they're coming forward, he's probably. He doesn't pay attention to them. He's lost in his own thoughts.
Phaethon will like just let loose a casual bolt of lightning just to get to get Caliban's attention, like just with the loud noise, you know? Crack.
I think Sabila was like trying to open their mouth, and then the lightning happened.
I think Caliban turns and looks at them and cracks back, not able to hit him with a bolt of burning shadow that sort of explodes at Phaethon's feet.
Okay, now that the greetings are out of the way, Kalliban, we tried to catch up as soon as we could. I'm sorry we couldn't be here for you sooner.
Please don't go kill that guy.
Why not? It's just another stooge in the Empire, corrupting its intent and its dream, wishing to bind Sabila's people to their will. Why doesn't this snake deserve to die?
If we say who deserves to die, and who deserves to live, when will that end?
When the honor of the Empire has been restored.
Are you not that honor? When I look at you, Kalliban, I see the hope for the Empire. What I see in you is a chance for the Empire to come back from the brink. But if you fall, Kalliban, what will happen to the rest of the Empire?
I think Caliban, just for a moment, is not the shimmering darkness. The teenage. You can sort of see that this bravado. There's still a teenage boy inside there who's confused and scared. And said, "This is. So, what would you have me do? This thief wishes to enslave your people. How would you deal with this, Sabila? You are probably the wisest and kindest of all of us."
I don't know if I am that, but I have talked to what remains of the soul of my people, and I can only hope I can carry that wisdom. And I had a long time to think about that while I was away, and I think you are the same, Kalliban. I think you are carrying the wisdom of the Empire, and I think the both of us have a lot that we need to live up to. But I think if we do it together, I don't know what we're going to do with him, and I won't know until I see him. I just hope that when the time comes, we'll make the right decision.
Fine, I'll do it your way. I trust you, at least.
And I trust you. I trust both of you. So the both of you can learn to trust each other, right?
Phaethon looks away.
Phaethon?
If you have asked it of me, then I will try my best to be the person you need me to be. And I will put my rivalry with Phaethon aside.
I think you are already who I need you to be, Kalliban. I trust in that. But yes, let's keep going so that the next time we see Ossian, we'll have good news for him.
I think Caliban points up the hill or the mountains to where you can see another sort of flickering flame in the darkness. And I say, the camp is a few hours march away.
And that's where the dragon is?
That's where Labent Stork is.
Yes, I have seen what Grayscale plans for the dragons. Anything we can do to complicate that plan will help us.
What have you seen?
It's difficult to describe, but I think I can show you. And Sabila will reach out their hand.
I think we see this sort of scene of Caliban extending his hand and then sort of slightly pulling it back and then taking a deep breath and then extends it out and takes Sabila's hand.
And I think at this point, Sabila will call out to their mother and extend their other hand to Phaethon. Mother, could you show them what I learned?
Phaethon hesitantly takes Sabila's hand. That can't, like, meet their eyes.
And I think, like, at that point, I think this is when we see, like, that kind of cartoon, like, flash montage of, like, the different scenes, showing Grayscale's plan, showing how Grayscale is driven by desperation and trying to choose who gets to live or die, who gets to survive in the face of the Empire. But I think also to show the daughter, the child, just to show that's another good chance we have. But yeah, and I'm going to go ahead and mark one use. Does that make sense? I can say mechanically that's how it works out. Like I'll mark one use of the dragon spirit so that I shared the totality of that vision and that shamanic quest.
Yeah, certainly. That sounds cool.
And I think that's also like when it comes through like how clear it is, how long it was for Sabila on the other side and how lonely it was for them those 10 years.
Okay. So there's a mechanical side to the redeemed playbook. You're not part of the fellowship no matter how much you want to be. You have a mission, working alongside them goes against that. Something reminds you of your purpose. You need to roll plus wisdom. If you do not have the wisdom stat, take the 6 result instead of rolling. I do have the wisdom stat, so I do need to probably make a roll.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Where's the link to the dice roll? Is anyone? Oh, there it is. I got it.
I think that I'm probably going to say, given the circumstances of this, you can roll that with hope because you do have a bond with everyone here, don't you? Now,
yes, I think so. Yeah. Two highest are 6 and 4 plus 1. So Kalliban does not inevitably betray the party for one more scene.
excellent.
So on a 10 plus with that move, 7 plus you remain on this side for now. On a 9 or less, you must erase a bond with the fellowship. But I was above a 9, so I don't need to remove a bond.
Perfect.
Kind Sabila's words.
Yeah, and so when the vision ends, I'll look at both of you. I've shared all that I've learned, and I know I'm asking a lot. This is about my people, but I think I can count on both of you, and I think this is for the good of the land.
I trust you, Sabila. Perhaps, but perhaps these snakes in the grass need to travel without the support of the Empire for a while. And I'm going to make a cut against the people up ahead of us David, which is going to be to separate them and take them away from their allies. And I think we see the storm get worse and snow start drifting down above, and a squall that sort of puts out their fires above us. And I think Salavan will turn around and smile, that sort of perfect white moonlit smile, and say, it seems the weather is worse up there.
Awesome. I like it. Yeah, so the snow, the blizzard will intensify, and the troops, the soldiers, are forced to shelter in their meager tents against the cold and wind. So as you proceed, as I say, it's not it's a sort of fairly small encampment. There's maybe a half dozen or so tents, and a couple of like those. It's very much like that kind of Indiana Jones archaeology site type setup here, where you've got kind of a couple of those big like open-sided tents, just with like wooden tables set out in them with various like stone samples and pieces of sort of generic artifacts laid out on them. I think as you approach, you can I think what I'm just trying to play out how this will go. So how what when you sort of approach or arrive into the camp, what are you doing? I'm going to throw this one, I think, to Phaethon. How's what sort of Phaethon's approach and outlook as you're arriving here?
Phaethon's approach and outlook is unhappy. Phaethon is not like he is dreading like sort of getting involved in dragon business, and like he is very angsty. He worries that he is the one that cannot be trusted, and is just like scared and like that. Does his best to hide it, so is mostly just quiet.
Yeah. So would you say that he's more distracted by these feelings, or kind of hyper focused?
Oh, extremely distracted.
Extremely. Cool. And awesome. And Sabila, how is what's Sabila's state of mind like at the moment, and how is she kind of approaching this encounter?
Yeah, I think.
Sorry, they.
I think Sabila is surprisingly focused and calculating, keeping eyes on Phaethon and Kalliban, but trying to like perceive if there is like an opening, an opportunity that we can take advantage of to try to get the upper hand of the situation with the least amount of like hurting people or anything like that.
Awesome. Yeah, if you would like to make me a one day I will learn the names of these moves as well as the names of people.
Same.
If you'd like to make me a look closely roll, please.
Okay.
That's a roll with sense.
Yes. All right. I'm gonna make that roll. Okay. I'm just waiting for roll for your party to finish. Okay.
No,
so
it was a bit slow for me this morning.
7, 8, 9, 9 total.
9. Okay, so on a 7-up, you get to ask 3 questions from the list. Though on a 9, on the 7 to 9, you find one of those answers the hard way.
Okay, interesting.
Oh,
nice.
Also, yeah. Anyone can answer these questions. I do forget this point. Anyone can answer them if you have an idea. Though I get final say. There's obviously these ones are generally more useful, especially if you're like looking closely about another player character, obviously. But yeah, if anyone does have an idea for one of these, then do feel free to jump in.
Yeah, that's so cool. Yeah, so I think the first one is, what is going on here? What do my senses tell me?
Yeah.
Should I give all of the questions first so you can decide which one is the hard way?
If you want to, if not, I will leap in on one of them. But yeah, if you want to ask all if you think you know which ones you want to ask, then yeah, feel free to ask them all now, and I'll
Yeah. Yeah, I think I know which ones. I think I want what is going on here? What do my senses tell me? That the second one is something hidden or out of place? If so, what looks suspicious? And the last one is, tell me about, I forgot his name. I'm also bad at
Labent Stork.
Yes. Yeah. What are they doing? What will they do next? Yeah.
Okay. So, what is going on here? The Imperial troops are all hunkering down to wait out the storm in their tents. You kind of get a bit of that vague feeling from them, and you maybe kind of, when you're sort of like softly creeping into the camp, you maybe hear a bit of grumbling from the odd tent above the storm. Certainly from the experiences you've had before, you get and their sort of current behavior, you get the feeling they don't want to be here really. This is a job they've been given, and it's something they'll do because they've been ordered to do it, but they have the troops here have no real enthusiasm for the task they've been set, and so they are unlikely to be unless you actually start unless like something serious starts breaking out, they are unlikely to get involved in things. They're not going to be like going out and doing patrols whilst the weather's like this. Other than that, it seems quiet out here. What you will also notice is some of the, like I said, there's these like bits and pieces of stuff that's obviously been brought out of the caves that have been brought out of the caves. Some of it is things like, there's just some like stones and the like that have been brought out. Some of them have signs that they look like they've been used to sharpen large talons on. Others, there's also some like pieces of artwork and old broken bits and pieces that are clearly, some of them are clearly crafted by human hands, but there's definitely stuff that is in the style of like draconic, old draconic, script and designs on them. So yeah, you absolutely, like, I mean, it would seem unlikely that Labent Stork was sort of making all this up anyway, but this definitely seems to confirm the hypothesis, as it were. The other thing you will notice is like this entrance to the cave, or this entrance to the cave system. It's relatively large, like it's probably like 8 to 10 feet or something at the entrance, but it's not big enough for a full-grown dragon in draconic form to enter and leave. So you suspect there might be another way in or out somewhere else on the mountain, but possibly inaccessible by on foot. In terms of Labent Stork, yeah, you can sorry, I forgot which. Yeah, so Labent Stork is you will actually see I think as you kind of are arriving, I think you will kind of hear footsteps heading off down into the cave as you sort of focus with your sharp sense. Labent Stork, as I said, has clearly been here. You do think that he has made contact with Grayscale. In fact, one of the things you will notice here is obviously I said there's these like artifacts that are out. So like I said, it's mostly old and sort of tarnished stuff, nothing that fancy. This is clearly like old discarded treasures, as it were. But there are also several large, heavy iron chests with big, heavy-duty locks on them, but they are all at least one of them is open and is completely empty, and a couple of the other ones, the lids are down, but you can tell that the lock isn't in place. It's still sort of just resting up on top of it. So presumably whatever was in these chests has been used for its purpose. You would suspect some sort of bribe to Grayscale. And in terms of what is going to do next, this is something you probably more that you deduce than know, but yeah, you think that that Labent Stork is going to try and turn Grayscale against you, and that's probably what he is doing. And finally, the thing that is hidden. Yes, you learn of the existence of the dragon hunter, who I don't think we named before, but their name will be Striker.
Are they a threat to the world?
Oh, they are not. No, they are. In fact, they're Lieutenant Striker, to give them their full title. But you will learn this the classic way by as you step into the camp. There will be the click of the hammer being pulled back on a harpoon gun, and you just see kind of the tip of of this harpoon gun pointing out from what looks like an otherwise normal snowbank. What do you do?
Oh gosh, yeah, and it's like aimed right at me.
Yep.
But no one else is close to me, right? Like,
The as in the rest of the fellowship, they may be, depending on exactly how you're all coming into this place. But yeah, no, there's no other adversaries here.
Yeah. Oof. I think like old Sabila and new Sabila are like fighting against each other. Because old Sabila would just try to fuck things up. I think what I'm going to do is like I'm keeping an eye on it, and I know I don't have much time. I speak behind me towards where Phaethon and Kalliban are, and I say, "They're after me. I'm the prize here. I can distract them while you do the real work."
Yeah, and I think that's the point at which we just hear a voice murmur quite softly, but loud enough to carry over to you. Clever whelp, and the harpoon gun will fire. Yeah. So this will be basically, this will just be a fairly simple attack for harm. But if anyone wishes to use the overcome move to prevent it, you may do so.
No, I'm gonna, but I'm gonna obey or acquiesce to Sabila's request, and I think rather than getting involved here, Kalliban starts sprinting up towards the encampment.
Yep, sure thing.
Yeah, and I will try to do the overcome move, and I think I'm going to say, Lambent, if you wanted to speak to me, you only had to invite me. I'm very happy to talk to you. I came alone, I say, like, desperately. But yeah, so I'm going to roll to overcome. Basically, like, yeah, okay. That is a plus blood. Let me double check if I'm finally going to, because I know I have a... I'm going to unleash my true strength. I'm going to damage my blood stat.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for the rest of the scene, you gain the tags burning and dangerous. You do not roll with despair and rolling blood or courage. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
Awesome.
Yes. So the way it looks like is like all of the fire just sort of builds up around Sabila. Their eyes are like glowing this bright. I'm just trying to distract him as much as possible to look like the only threat.
Yeah, sure thing.
Rolling. Oh, the dice have betrayed me so badly. But I think that is a total of 2 plus... Yeah, that's a 6. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So
close.
The harpoon slams into you. So you will take you'll take a point of harm, so you can mark that on any stat you choose.
I'll go ahead and use the armor I have, one use.
Yep, sure thing.
Just so I can be badass about it.
Yep. But it will it does kind of slam into you. It knocks you to the floor, and actually kind of it's like I said, it's a proper, it's quite a long harpoon. It is kind of restricting your movements, and it is sort of preventing you from sort of being able to properly like get up and get moving again. You've been sort of pinned in place essentially, and and you see and in that sort of moment of distraction, you kind of see the the hunter shift his position, and you lose sight of him momentarily. Phaethon, what are you going to do?
He's going to yell "No!" when Sabila gets hit. But you said had lost sight of the.
Yeah, I mean, you might be able to keep track of him if you want to take some sort of action. That's sort of yeah, because obviously you can be kind of acting concurrently.
Okay, yeah, I want to keep it simple. I want to use do not trifle with wizards for just 1 damage. I think this looks like basically Phaethon stomps the ground and like the snow were striker is just kind of like poofs up very like forcefully as if he had stepped on like a landmine. Not like quite that devastating or injurious, obviously, but yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I should have introduced his stats. He has the stats. Wait, wrong thing. He has the stats: well prepared, favored enemy, and the greatest challenge. He is going to actually mark the greatest challenge stat, and he kind of as you detonate this snow mine underneath him, and he slams hard into the ground with a grunt, and then he steps up. He gets back to his feet again. He seems to be quite nimble on his feet, even in the snow. And he's readied like a small pistol crossbow from his belt as he rises, and he's going to point it towards Ossian, not Ossian. Point it towards Phaethon again, and say, "You should have stayed out of this, boy. This isn't your fight." And yeah, he raises the crossbow and prepares to fire. What do you do? Oh yeah, go ahead.
No, if somebody else has something, that's fine.
Ooh. Yeah, do we want to cut to Kalliban, or do we want to see how Sabila will react? Like, what do you think, Kalliban?
I'm happy to shift the spotlight for a moment if people
Yeah, sure thing, yeah.
want to. So I think we're sort of seeing in the snow up on the encampment. You can sort of the troops there sort of peering into the snow is still there, and you can hear these sort of footfalls crunching through until we see Kalliban sort of walk through into their view, and he looks like full Kalliban here, and then looks at all of the troops amassed, and I'm going to use my Dark Authority move and say to the one who is the highest ranking soldier here. Is it a sergeant, presumably, if there's a lieutenant elsewhere?
Yeah.
I say to the sergeant and look at him and say, "Do you know who I am?"
Prince Kalliban, we were told you might be here. We were told you have turned traitor. Is that true?
My mother has changed her mind. This mission is no longer required. You are relieved of your duties. Return to the capital and await further orders. Go now, and I will forgive you for the foolishness of following these liars. and ripples of shadow behind Caliban and Dark Authority. I have pulled my current master, cruel master's minions to make demands of them freely. They will listen to you if their behavior is strange or clearly benefits the fellowship.
Awesome. Yeah. So yeah, I think that they will. Yeah, they will nod and say, "Very well, Your Highness. If it is the request of the Empress, then we have no choice but to obey." Oh no, I won't say no choice but to obey. But, he will say, then we shall obey, as he turns and says, "You heard the prince. Troops, pack up and move out." And there will obviously be a bit of sotto voce mumbling about, be glad to get out of this snow for one thing.
You will find a village on the way back down. They are kind people. I think Caliban will sort of produce a pouch of coins and throw it to the sergeant and say, "Stop for a while. Feed and recharge your weary souls from this cold before you go back to the city. What is your name, Sergeant?"
Sergeant Avila, sir.
You are dutiful and wise. I'm sure we will meet again. Don't stop. Don't engage with anyone until you get to a warm inn and a hot meal. Do you understand me?
Yes, Your Highness.
Where is Labent Stork?
He has gone to see the dragon, Your Highness. And you can see there's obviously a look of not fear exactly, but trepidation, shall we say, on his face as he says that.
I think I'm going to speak harshly to him to get some more answers.
Yeah, go for it.
Am I rolling 2 or 3 dice here? I'm on my own, so it's probably 2, right?
Yes, that's right. Yep. I don't think there's a specific thing that gives you rolling with hope with it. So yeah, it'll just be 2.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Cool.
Double 1. You go with a +3, that's a 5. So, yeah, that fails.
No worries.
6 less. Oh, no, that's not right. Actually, on a 6 less, you may only ask 1 question.
Cool.
Speak harshly. Yes, I want to know, what can they tell me about how Labent Stork will try to take control of the dragon?
Yeah. He will explain that he has only seen the dragon twice. Mostly Labent Stork goes on his own, but he knows that that Labent Stork presented the dragon with great and valuable gifts as an offering, and the way that he understands it is that Labent Stork has something that the dragon wants, or will help the dragon to do something it wants. That there is definitely a kind of reciprocal arrangement going in there, but you also you also know that, or rather, the sergeant also knows that that Labent Stork has something that will give him an edge over the dragon if things go sideways. You're not quite sure what that is, but you know that there was one of the chests that Labent Stork did not permit anyone else to. Well, he let them load it onto carts and the like, but has not let anyone else have any dealings with. That he's kept within his personal control at all times. He has a he actually has his like living space set up in the caverns themselves, whereas the rest of the soldiers are mostly outside of them or just inside the entrance.
Excellent. I think I close the scene by sort of Caliban sort of stalking towards the cave entrance and picks up one of the guards' cloaks and swooshes it over himself. And that's where I will adopt a cunning disguise to appear as one of the troops and mutter under my breath, "See, Sabila, I can deal with things without killing." Sometimes.
Okay, and I think we will have another quick break there, and then we'll pick up and get onto the encounter with the dragon itself. So, yep, see you all in a moment. So, yes, we are going to go back to the confrontation with the hunter, who is just leveling this little pistol crossbow thing at Phaethon. Sabila, you're kind of you've been knocked to the ground, but you've now sort of you've got control of yourself again. What do you do?
Right. So, how is Phaethon threatened exactly? It's a
just like a little sort of one of those small hand crossbow things, not like a proper big one, but it's it's just the one that he's kind of grabbed off his belt as he's got back to his feet again.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to use my dragon magic, my Blessing of Speed, instantly appear somewhere close by that you can see. No one else will see you move there. And then I'm going to activate the armor from my love, who I will keep safe. But basically, I'm standing in front of Phaethon, and the fire is like fully activated. And I say, if you hurt him in any way, you will regret it. I am your enemy, not him.
Yeah, and I think he kind of grins and he says, that works as well for me, my sweet. And he pulls the trigger on the crossbow bolt, but it just kind of like incinerates on your fiery aura as it comes in. Phaethon, what do you do?
I think Phaethon is gonna say, Sabila, stop protecting me, and then there's nothing saying I can't do not trifle with wizards more than once, like in a scene.
No.
I'm just gonna say, I can end this real quick. I can just take out his last two stats.
Yep.
I'll just like large like the snow around him forms into like big ice shards that sort of come crashing down on him and sort of like freezing over him, pinning him And you know, Phaethon probably like gets a little nosebleed.
Awesome. Yeah, and yeah, he's encased in this ice, ice and snow, and we kind of get that just that moment of like the snow, the blizzard blowing, and no other sound. And just at that moment, I got one of those dramatic wind sound effects across my window here, so that's appropriate. Yeah, awesome. So yeah, was there anything, any last moments you wanted to have on that scene, or are we good to move on to the next?
And I think after Sabila hears that and sees what Phaethon does, Sabila doesn't turn around, like their back is towards Phaethon. And Sabila just says, I don't think you understand, Phaethon. What would happen to me if something happened to you?
I understand. Let's go talk to a dragon.
And I think maybe at that point, that's when Kalliban shows up, like at peak awkward tension, to say what they said.
Caliban, by this point, you sort of say, you see him at that point, I think, walks towards you with this soldier's cloak and swooshes it on, and so the frame that say comes away, and he looks like someone completely different. Says, if you two have quite finished your exchange of moon-eyed glances, we will find that there is that Stork has already gone inside and has trinkets for the dragon, and a surprise if it will not acquiesce. I would suggest we work with pace, and you figure out your true feelings later on. If we are going to continue to working together, I would like it if for once you could decide if you loved each other or not. And then Caliban will stalk away.
It's gonna just like conjure a large gust of wind to trip Kalliban.
Yeah, I think when Sabila hears that, they like blush this really deep red, and they just blurt out, "Well, I love both of you, so that's that. Can we just let's go inside right now, and we're not going to talk about this until the mission is done." And then Sabila's just gonna like march over this really awkward, like kind of walk with the wings out.
I'm imagining the way a bat walks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very awkward.
Yeah, Phaethon just like, takes some moments and then follows.
Yeah. So you make your way into the cavern system. These caves seem to be natural. There's obviously some sort of recent signs of maybe recent and old signs of some work in here, in the sense of like there's probably been some mining of some variety gone on here at some point. But yeah, largely they're fairly unworked caverns. You will your attention is drawn to one particular like small cave off of the side of the main cavern system, where there is the glow of the sort of moonlight lamps softly spilling out of it. It's got that kind of bluish lighting. Do you wish to investigate it?
Yeah.
Seems worth investigating.
No, it looks like a plot trap. Let's go somewhere else.
Let's
Yeah.
just putter around here for a little while
Yep.
and examine like the various stalactites.
Yep.
Interesting rock formation.
Yeah, you head into it, and like I said, it's a fairly small, just like a little offshoot cave thing, but it has obviously been set up as a living quarters. There is a bed. There is a bed set up, just a little folding bed. There is a makeshift desk with some notes and stuff on it, and there is personal possessions, a little traveling trunk. But there's also a second chest, quite big, that has it is made of a very, very pale wood, and has some strange symbols carved into the wood.
Can I try to make sense of it?
Yeah, certainly.
Let's see.
So I think I think you're not, you can't read the symbols as such. It doesn't seem to be like language. You can definitely feel the sense of magic off of them, though, and more than that, you feel even just being close to this chest, it feels uncomfortable to you. It's like the closer you get to it, there's more of a feeling that almost like static electricity in the air or something like that. There's just some sort of sensation that you're feeling off of it.
Yeah, I look at the chest and I turn to Phaethon. I have a bad feeling about this. Could you take a closer look, Phaethon?
Gonna open it remotely using wizardry.
Sure. Yeah, and it's difficult, like that you can feel the box resisting your efforts to open it, actively resisting, not just in the sense it's locked, but in the sense it's like it feels like the chest itself is trying not to open, but you are able to bend it to your will, and the box opens up slowly. It's like, it's almost like it's, when you have the door that is when they're on those like slow hinges sort of thing, except obviously that it doesn't have those. It's just the way it sort of opens up, and revealing inside a person by all appearances. They are but probably again of similar age to you lot, though it's a little difficult to tell. They have very long hair, which is silver, in the sense of being like actually silver, not just like grey. They have very sharp features, very, very pale skin, like almost sort of pure marble in color. They look to be asleep, but they are bound in more straps than rope, and the straps have very similar sigils and markings on them to the ones that were on the case. Sort of wrapping them, they're not like mummified in it, but sort of wrapped all the way down their bodies, sort of wrapping them into place.
We have to get them out. They're trapped. And Sabila will step forward and try to make sense of what's happening.
Yes, you are still very much getting that feeling. Like even the box is still kind of, it's painful for you to be near it, and as you sort of move towards it, it's still got that like I said, staticky feel to it. The other thing as well for you, this is a dragon, quite clearly. This person. You are more than aware of that.
Ooh. Yeah. Ooh. I'm trying to figure out who. I think definitely. I'm willing to mark a stat if it means I can break them out.
Yep, absolutely. You can do that.
Okay, I'm going to. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no. So it is very painful as you reach down, and you probably find out when you actually touch one of the pieces of the binding strap, it actually burns, and obviously you don't get burnt by fire, but it burns you as you touch it. Yeah, magically burnt by the by this strap. You manage to move your hands around so you can so you're not actively touching the strap, and then you're able to kind of get them out. But the whole sensation is still very physically unpleasant for you.
Right. So I immediately pull them out, and I take them quickly away from the chest and see how they respond.
They still seem to be in a kind of fairly. So it's in fact as you move them, it's that they kind of stir as if somebody had like like slightly disturbed them in natural sleep, though obviously given the fact that you're like hauling them out of a box, this should have done far more than that to in terms of waking them up.
Right. And I think like Sabila's like holding them in their arms, and Sabila just looks up at the other two with tears in their eyes. They're like me. They're a dragon like me, but why were they in there? Why were they trapped?
Well, that is what Labent Stork is here to do. To put harnesses on you and use them for their own ends and the ends of Gilded Swan. Now, may I destroy them?
No, we do things when we are afraid, and there's much to be afraid of the dragons.
Then I would suggest we deal with the lies that Stork is likely to be telling the dragon before we lose control of this situation. An escalation is inevitable.
I understand, and you're right. Phaethon, could you take a look at them?
Yeah. And Phaethon sort of awkwardly like try to evaluate like how evaluate the condition this young dragon is in.
Yeah. So yeah, they are clearly under some form of magical. They're clearly under some form of magical control. You can feel the magic coming off of these bands, though it isn't. You don't have the same sense of physical pain that Sabila did around them.
Can I? I feel. Could I use a wizardly bauble, some sort of like dispelling charm of some sort, to release these bonds?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's like. I think it's like a little pepper grinder, but like filled with like tiny crystals of anti-magic instead of peppercorns, and just kind of grinds those onto the van.
Nice.
They just kind of the sigils, like, assuming it works, like the sigils like kind of fade and the bands loosen.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the bands sort of go slack and fall off, and I think for a moment they continue to just be asleep, but then they kind of roll over, and then they start to sort of blearily wake up. Where am I? What happened?
You're safe. We're friends. I am Sabila. This is Phaethon. It was Phaethon who saved you. And this is Kalliban. And we're here to make sure that Labent does not gain control of the dragons.
I don't understand. Who is? Who's trying to control the dragons? What's going on?
Who are you? Maybe we can start from there.
My name is Asimi.
Asimi, like I said, I'm Sabila. Do you remember how you got in there?
No, I was at home last I remember anything. I know I dreamt, but I know I was asleep and that I was dreaming. And then I woke up and I think then you get that kind of moment of looking around, and they become visibly more agitated. Say, "This is my father's cave. What am I doing here?"
Your father is Grayscale.
Yes.
I see. The dragons talked about you. But yes, it is Grayscale that Labent Stork seeks out.
We have to get out of here. My father is dangerous.
Yes, and I think when they say dangerous, like I look at Kalliban, like like give this look. Dangerous. We have bits and pieces. We know that your father is driven by desperation to protect the dragons. But is there anything you can tell us that will help? I want to try to get through to your father or find a way to stop the worst from happening.
I don't know. I've not. I have not spent much time with my father. I do not. I have visited before, but
It's all right. This doesn't have to be your battle. Will you be... I do not know if we should take you with us. It may be more dangerous. But perhaps you can make it back home and be safe. But I'll leave the choice to you.
cool. And I think I will actually call on this as a talking softly with them. Do I mean talking softly? No, I don't. I mean the other one.
Talk sense?
Talk sense, yes.
Yes.
Because obviously you're kind of giving them the choice, but essentially if you get high, they will come with you. If not, they will return to their home, or at least possibly wait for you here. But yeah, so yeah, I think I feel like this is.
Ooh,
I think this could be either sense or wisdom, to be honest, because I feel like you touched both of those. I'd say possibly slightly closer to sense, but I think you did sort of play on their emotions a bit as well. So,
yeah, I think I'll go with sense. Okay, let's see. I have so many tabs. Okay, there it is. All right. And that, ooh, wow, that is a 10. I just rolled a raw 10. So
awesome. Yeah, so they will kind of you see the kind of look of literal steely determination come into their eyes as they are that kind of polished metal color. And they say, I will come with you. If I am with you, perhaps he will listen to me.
Yes, I think I understand what it's like to have others listen to what you hope for. But you have to promise me that you won't endanger yourself. We'll do our best to protect you, but I think you're capable of taking care of yourself as well.
Thank you. Yeah, awesome. And I think as well you can take a bond with a Simi there. And I will detail them with some stats as a companion at some point, but I won't do that right now. So meanwhile, I'm going to turn to I think Kalliban. How are you reacting to this, or what are you doing whilst this is going on?
I think we've just established what's happened behind the scenes in chat is both Phaethon and Kalliban were going to sneak off to deal with this on their own, and they caught each other's eyes. So we've realised we're trapped, and we have to wait for Princess Goody Two Shoes to figure out. But now we're going, are we done, Sabila? we need to resolve this.
I think Sabila caught the two of them trying to, and is pointedly ignoring it to be polite. And Sabila will say, "Thank you for your patience, both of you. Yes, let's go. I think we don't have much time left."
See, Phaethon, all that teaching of Imperial manners does have a purpose.
Excellent. So I think that's where we will leave things for today, because I don't think there's much value in starting off the next scene with the time we've got left. But I will just give a brief, give you a brief cutscene in the meantime, and I think we will flash down to the deeper into the caverns. The cavern opens up. As these sort of caverns go down, they get wider and wider and wider until it opens out into a huge cavern. The size, we're talking kind of like Wembley Stadium type dimensions. A big grand room. It is absolutely encrusted with, well, there are stalactites and that, but it's more outcroppings of well, for a second it does look like the whole room is covered in gold, but it's actually, on closer inspection, it's fool's gold. It's Amperites, but absolutely encrusting the ceiling and walls of this cavern. Admittedly, the floor itself does have a large amount of gold in the form of coins and valuable statuary and the like strewn about it. The sat on a car, a sort of fashioned out of iron. There is a throne is probably, if you applied, if you took something that was basically a cat bed and made it a giant metal throne, then that's the kind of look here. And sat inside it is a large, incredibly large dragon, long serpentine neck and long tail. Their scales range from underneath and on the belly are a bright shining silver, fading to dark grey, almost like that black of cast iron down their spine, which is covered with long, sharp spikes. And sat in front of them is, stood in front of them is Labent Stork, and Grayscale's head perks up and twitches, and their lips draw back in to show their teeth in what may be a grin, as they say, "Well, my young wizard, it seems the terms of our arrangement have changed. Perhaps it is time we talk about what the Ordo Noctis will do for me." And that's where we'll leave things for today. So thank you very much, everyone, and see you all next time.
Very cool.
Sorry, I forgot one thing we will do is our end of session questions, so that we have those done now. I'll do that while we're still recording, for future reference should it be needed. So I will take us back to our Rebellion questions again. I've lost my place entirely. Yes, so did we strike a blow against the Empire or its leaders?
I think Kalliban, like, single-handedly getting rid of the army was pretty cool. Like,
yeah, no, I'd agree with that. I think we're seeing Kalliban starting to chip away at the the unified front of the Empire. So I think that's fair. Cool. Did we protect the common folk from harm?
Depends if you want to consider not smashing all of the troops off the side of the mountain to be common folk.
Or if you want to consider a dragon child to be common folk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say yeah, but we'll say probably not on that one in this instance. I think I don't feel like we quite got to that point of actually protecting the common folk. But yeah, I think it's the last one. Did we learn something new about the Empire and its plans?
Yeah, I think we learned quite a bit.
Yeah, no, I'd agree. I think we saw more exploration of the tensions between the different parts of the Empire and and all that. So yeah, I think that's cool. So yeah, that's 2 choices from the list.
Do you want to just level everybody up again?
That certainly sounds good to me. If you're all happy with it.
Yeah, I want to take a look at the destiny.
Yeah, I'll get I'll do that actually today. I will set that as a task. I will get the destiny playbooks up in the destinies are already like set up in the character keeper, but I'll actually get the playbooks uploaded to that shared folder because it's a bit easier to look through them that way rather than change a bit faffing about with the sheet. So I'll do that because both you and Ossian will be eligible to go into a destiny if you so choose. But yeah, cool. So I think with that said, that is everything sorted for today. So I will stop the recording now.